affecting our vision?
Michael.
Now, statistics show many adults spend many hours every day staring at a digital screen, much as I am doing at the moment. These include computers, cell phones and television. Let's discuss this now with the CEO of Dynamic Vision, Ruahan Naude. Thank you so much for coming in to speak to us, Ruahan. So we don't often think about the damage to our eyes resulting from screens, but give us a sense, how much damage is actually being done?
Well, I'd like to break it down into two categories. First of all, the long-term category is a condition of developing age-related macular degeneration, which is basically loss of central vision, and there's nothing we can do about it. So you can lose sight. So that is in the long term, and therefore the prevention is the cure. In the short term, what we're experiencing is digital eye strain, tiredness, irritability, sometimes loss of vision when you're driving, fluctuating vision. You know, sometimes when you get to that point, you're looking at something close by and you look up and there's like a blur. We call it a near-far blur, and you just have difficulty in actually seeing.
Let me just ask you about blue light in particular. Why is blue light in particular harmful to our eyes?
Yes, well, first of all, not all blue light is bad, and blue light's everywhere. So there is blue light in the sun as well. If I just can compare the ultraviolet light from the sun to blue light, so our eyes has the ability to protect you against ultraviolet light, and less than 1% of ultraviolet light actually penetrates the eye. Blue light, however, the eye structure does not allow that. So therefore, when blue light enters the eye, you're getting maximum penetration on the retina of the eye, which can cause all these problems. And I think the main problem is that in our lifestyle has changed. And if we look at computers and cell phones and iPads, the three words come to mind. It's too much time. It's too little devices and for too long. So what's actually happening, the blue light from all these devices, including your television, is so close to your eye. So it's actually penetrating the eye far greater. And that's the danger of it.
Tell me, what are the risks of not taking precautions against this kind of light?
Well, I think first of all, in adult time, or in adulthood, you could have a great possibility of having different sleeping patterns. It does influence your circadian rhythms. In children, very important, when they're playing with these devices up to bedtime, the brain will only start switching off 2 hours after that. So it means, you know, they're not going to sleep, they're active and they're tired in the morning, which leads to a lot of concentration problems and learning problems and just an unpleasant, unhappy child.
Tell me, is there long-term damage in children from exposure to this kind of blue light when they're young?
Absolutely, because the structure of the eye is still so clean and it's not blocking out any form of light. So the problem is we're not going to measure it short term. We're going to experience it later when you're 45 or even 40 and older, when you start losing vision and you can't see, and there's not much we can do for you at that stage now.
What can be done in terms of prevention, and if you've been affected by this light already, in post that?
Yes, so I think first of all, let's look at the device. In our group in Dynamic Vision, we partner with Seiko lenses, and I brought 2 samples of it. So one of the lenses actually have a blue control that actually prevents it. So it cuts the blue light. So if we just talk about blue light is a very short wavelength, and for that it's got a lot of energy in it, and that's where it comes in. So there's a coating that we put on the lens called blue control that actually prevents it. So that's the first important thing. The second thing is, when you're working with devices, you're actually holding it a lot closer. So your eye's working harder, your eye can go into spasm, and at the end of the day it could affect your long-term vision. And therefore they've designed, or lately there's a lens that we call an accommodative or support lens, which actually relaxes the eyes at near, and when you look close by and you look far, it's much easier to see, and preventing eye strain and preventing you becoming short-sighted. So that's on the devices. Then on what we can do, just as an easy tip, is first of all, when you are working on a computer, try and push it 50 to 70 centimeters away. That's the first thing. Try and limit television, because LED screens actually have the same effect on it, and take regular breaks. So I personally did a bit of reading of it lately, and what I've read is that, just a break where we actually stand up and focus on something else, and doing some exercises, just looking up and down, rolling around, and actually blinking your eyes 10 times at least, just to break that spasm. Because when you actually look at something all the time, you tend to focus on it so hard, and when you look up, you can't see, and you kind of need to break that. I mean, I actually brought in a sample of our Seiko lenses, and you can actually see when you put it on, it absolutely absorbs the glare. And even in this environment, which I'm not used to, of these very much high LED lights, without it I feel uncomfortable. And putting it on immediately, it actually relaxes the eyes and I actually feel quite a bit of comfort. So you can see that purplish coating on it. Compared to a normal anti-reflect coating or glare-free coating, it still absorbs the glare, but immediately I feel uncomfortable with these very bright lights in my eye, which is not my ideal environment that I'm used to, not like yourself.
All right. Yes, and I think I'm starting to show the effects of it now. Thank you so much for coming in to talk to us. Some very interesting issues you've raised there. CEO of Dynamic Vision, Ruahan, Naude. Let's catch your business news up next with Mateo Jaripe.
Thank you very much, Joanne. Straight to the markets now. Industrials and financials pulled up the local market today. The oil share was firm, up 1.5%. Industrials and financials were strong, up close to 2%. Gold shares retreated today despite the rand's weakness. Lonmin was a great performer in the resources sector, gaining more than 10% in morning trade. Platinum was up by more than 3% as a result, with resources up by more than 1%.